Good morning. Today is Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Besides teaching at Bar Ilan and visiting with my mother, I spent the rest of my time in Israel volunteering. The day I arrived was Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day, and I visited a Shiva house. Ido Volch was 21 years old. He had fallen in Gaza, been killed in Gaza. His funeral had been the previous Sunday. His family were still sitting Shiva in Yerushalayim. I went kind of early in the day, and the Shiva house was not so crowded. And I had a chance to spend a good amount of time with both his father, Ariel, and his mother, Karen. His father told me that his son made friends with everyone. He was charismatic. Officers said he was a born leader in his heart and in his mind, not just from his uniform. And his mother told me that he had a rare combination of friendliness and intelligence. Very often the two do not go together. It was a very meaningful visit. On Sunday, my first Sunday, I went to Sheba Hospital, which is another name for Tel HaShomer. It's in Tel Aviv. Actually, it's close to Bar Ilan. It's a gigantic hospital complex. Every different department is a separate building, and there's a little trolley bus that takes you around from one building to another. And I wanted specifically to visit Shikum. Shikum is rehabilitation. I wanted to visit soldiers who had been seriously injured and who are undergoing rehabilitation, which often means months and months of physical therapy, emotional therapy, repeated surgeries, and in some cases, not a few cases, relearning to enter a new life that they never imagined before because their old life was not open to them. I found it very interesting that the name of the clinic that I went to, it's called Shikum Chozrim L'Chaim. Rehabilitation, returning to life. Of course, that's what rehabilitation is. But we're talking about thousands and thousands of seriously injured soldiers, men and women of all ages. And for these soldiers, their lives will never be the same. Some of them will regain the ability of their limbs. Some lose those limbs. Some will never regain the ability to use those limbs. And the purpose of this effort for months and months is to return to life. It may not be the same life, but it's a return to life. Israel is at the forefront of rehabilitation medicine because they need to be. I saw a sign on the wall in the hallway of this unit. It was a handmade sign. I don't know who made it. And the sign says, Giborei Yisrael. And in English is written, Our Heroes. Anachnu ohavim etchem. We love you. And there's a a flag of Israel. And there's also, I don't know how it got there, there's a flag of Canada. And there's some other little images. So I don't know, maybe it was people in Canada that made the sign or sent it or brought it. But it's a beautiful sign. And it certainly expresses the feeling of all of us, and certainly all of Israelis. We love them. They are our heroes. So I went from room to room, speaking to these soldiers. As I say, men, women, young, not so young. All of the people that I spoke to were very open. Here I am, a stranger walking in, and they were open to tell me what happened to them. Some of them had been there for 3 or 4 or 5 months. Some of them had been there for 8 months. They told me what their progress was, what their prognosis is. And as I said, some of them will have to make drastic adjustments in their life. I spoke to one man, maybe in his late 30s. He has a wife and 2 children. He lives in the northern part of Israel. He worked in construction. But in battle, his leg was hit by an RPG. He will have some more surgeries, but he told me it could very well be that his leg will never heal. But he said, I'm facing it. And I'm making other plans. And again, I understand. I'm a stranger. I'm coming in. I'm there for a few minutes. But not from him and not from any of the people I visited was there even a trace of bitterness or regret. Again, with the proviso that this was somewhat superficial, but not a trace of bitterness or regret. This man told me, I understand. I know what's going to happen now. And he said, I did it for my children's future. And he told me I would do it again. I visited another room. There were 3 soldiers there, 2 men and 1 woman. The young woman had been injured by Hezbollah on the northern border, and the 2 men had been injured in Gaza. They were young, and they were very, very funny. They were making jokes, they were laughing. So I said to one man whose leg had been shot multiple times, and he has a long way to go for his leg to be useful again. So I said to him, how old are you? He told me, I'm 21 years old. He said to me, how old are you? He asked me, how old am I? I said, I'm 66 years old. He says to me, wow, you're 66 years old. Look at your hair. You have a full head of hair. I can't believe it. And he said to me, I want you to give me a bracha that when I reach 66, I will have hair just like you have. So I gave him a bracha. I put my hands on his head. I gave him a bracha that Hashem should protect him, that he should have a refuah shlema, a complete healing, and that he should have a full head of hair for a long and healthy life. And everyone I visited was very appreciative that I was there. And everyone was actually quite amazed. Why was I there? I'm a stranger. I came from Canada, traveled so far to visit them. And the answer is simple. I said this at the Shiva house. Ariel and Karen asked me this question, and I told them, I live in Montreal, and my heart and the hearts of my community are torn at your loss because we feel it's our loss. And I came to tell you that we are mourning along with you. As I was leaving this Shiva house, a friend of the family walked me out. And this woman said to me, you know, it's so nice of you to come. And the family is so moved by your visit, your empathy. And I told her a story. Now, I have told you this story before. And I told this story to every bereaved family, every wounded soldier, and every student. I told the same story over and over again during my trip. As I say, I've told you this story before, but this was the theme of my visit, and this is what I hope we here in Montreal always keep in mind. I must have told this story, I don't know, 20 times during my trip. And the story goes like this. It's a story I heard from the Rav, Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik. There was a man, and he had several sons. One of his sons had 2 heads. The man died, and the sons wanted to divide the inheritance. So the son with 2 heads said, I'm entitled to 2 shares because I have 2 heads. I'm 2 sons. I'm 2 people. So each one of me is entitled to a share. I'm entitled to 2 shares. And the other brothers said, no, you're only entitled to 1. You're only 1 brother. It's just you're 1 brother and you have 2 heads. But you're only entitled to 1 share. So they went to Bet Din to adjudicate their case. And Bet Din says as follows, here's what we're going to do. The son that has 2 heads, we're going to pour hot water over 1 head. If the other head is quiet, that means that it's really 2 people. And this 2-headed person is entitled to a double share. But if we pour hot water on 1 head and the other head screams, that means that it's 1 person with 2 heads entitled to 1 share. And I kept repeating this story. I said that we are 1 body with more than 1 head, with lots of heads, but it's 1 body. And for me and for the Jews in Montreal, we are not sad for them. We are not mourning for them. We are not praying for them. I said, it's my son that you're sitting Shiva for. I said to the soldiers in the hospital, you are my sons and daughters. I said to soldiers going into reserves, you're my family. You're my sons and daughters going into a place of great danger. And at the same time, I said to my students and to soldiers, and you, my children, you are becoming the next generation of Israeli leaders. It's not them. It's me. It's my family. It's our family. It's not just happening to them. It's happening to me. This is the essence. 1 body. 2 heads, but 1 body. This is how I feel. And this is what I said to everybody there. And I think it is this attitude that we should try to develop within ourselves. And I certainly found that hearing this made a deep impression on everyone in Israel that I told this to. May we hear good news from our family, our children, our sons, our daughters, our sisters, our brothers. And may we always feel that we are one body. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.